What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of WWE Monday Night Raw review and results right here with Wrestling for All. I will be discussing the last night's show from Indianapolis, Indiana. It was like not the best Raws we have seen in 2014, okay? After a good pay-per-view which WWE has done, I am really disappointed as a WWE viewer that WWE gave me which I never wanted to see. Though the starting of the show was really good. Now, the Authority comes out for their farewell speech and they want to have a final say about the WWE. They say that Team Authority would have won if it were not for man Sting. Stephanie goes on and gets emotional while Triple H gets angry and calls the WWE Universe all bullies. He addresses Sting and isn't sure why Sting has decided to stick his painted face in the WWE. Maybe it was an attempt to stand in the ring for 30 seconds with Triple H and make his career relevant somehow. Triple H says it doesn't matter because Sting's first night in the WWE ring was his last. Triple H does not believe WWE will last a few weeks without the Authority and says that the Authority, there is no Dolph Ziggler, there is no John Cena, and no Ryback. Triple H promises that the fans will beg them to come back. Now we are like, wow, Triple H is speaking really well on the mic, Raw is heated, crowd is booing for the Authority, it all's going well, and suddenly we hear Daniel Bryan's music. And I'm like, oh my god, is he back? Is he back? And then he comes out to a big yes chant, as always, and Bryan's in the ring. He comes on, has some fun with Stephanie and Triple H. Stephanie and Triple H leave, but Bryan goes back and does the yes chant in their face, teasing them that they're leaving the WWE and they are out of power. So Bryan comes back into the ring and says he has been put in charge for Monday Night Raw for the show. And everyone like going, yes, 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 crazy. And we have Daniel Bryan in the ring and he comes out and calls out the Authority. He says they are still on the WWE roster and we want to do something for them. Bryan says he's not a spiteful guy and he's fair and is going to prove it. Bryan makes Rollins and two partners a match with John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. And he said 3 teams which the WWE fans could vote on the app to decide who would face John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. Now he has 3 options. First one was Henry and Harper. Second was Henry and Kane, or Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble. Now everyone was, yeah, we knew it that Mercury and Noble are gonna fight John Cena and Dolph Ziggler, and that was really which happened. But then Bryan comes out and addresses Kane next, and then Bryan asks fans if Kane should continue to be the director of operations, and a no chance starts. Bryan doesn't want Kane to be jobless, but he says no longer going to be the director. Bryan says Kane's new title should be Director of Food and Beverage. Instead of Corporate Kane, he will now be Concessions Kane. And Bryan calls for a hairnet and tray to be brought out to Kane and then sends Kane off to sell popcorn and hot dogs. And that was pretty funny, and that is what Kane actually deserves. He should be off our TV. He addresses Rusev next and says either he should compete in a battle royal with all the WWE superstars with his title on the line, or he can come down to the ring with an American flag hanging to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. And Lana and Rusev storm off. Bryan makes Harper vs. Dean Ambrose for the IC Championship. Harper leaves and Henry follows, but Bryan stops him. Bryan says Ryback asked for a match, so he puts Henry against Ryback. So that match took place over there, and it was Mark Henry versus Ryback which happened. The match was pretty decent, not much exciting, and not a lot of moments of the match were there. But Mark Henry versus Ryback, winner was Ryback. He nails a meat hook clothesline for the win. Now we see Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Vince McMahon backstage, and Stephanie apologizes for letting him down and making him angry. Vince isn't angry, he's just disappointed, and he put insurmountable odds in front of them because that's why they have to face in the corporate world. Vince says they failed him and he doesn't like that feeling and asks them how he made people feel and says never forget that. Vince says somehow, some way they will fix this, and Vince laughs at them being sorry. So this was what we have at the backstage segment. We have Dean Ambrose going against Luke Harper in a Intercontinental Championship match. The match was going on really well. Ambrose gets crazy again. He takes out tables, he takes out ladders and chairs. Some way that Bray Wyatt comes out and attacks Dean Ambrose. So obviously Ambrose won the match via DQ. And then Bray Wyatt attacked Ambrose just like Ambrose did Bray Wyatt at Survivor Series. So he had chairs all over him. He threw him to the announcer's table. A Sister Abigail at ringside, and then he threw all the chairs over Ambrose, and then the segment ended regarding the match. So we had Santino Marella with the Larry the Cable Guy and Kane, a backstage segment, and I will not talk about this. If you want to watch it, go and watch it again on Raw. But I will say, don't ever waste your 5 minutes of worthy of time, okay? This was definitely the best point to take a bathroom break. WWE Tag Team Championship match, Stardust and Goldust versus Damian Sandow and The Miz. Again, the same old shit from Survivor Series, and Miz and Sandow retain the titles. We have a lot of things going on Raw, but Raw was feeling like it was the time when it goes into the boring part. So we had the Rusev segment with Lana, and Lana comes into the ring, she whines and says it's not fair that they have to pick this, and Rusev says he doesn't care who's in charge of Raw and he's not going to be brainwashed by dumb Americans. Rusev and Lana try to leave, but Bryan appears on the big screen and he thought something like this might happen, and Bryan sends someone out to supervise, and WWE Hall of Famer Sarge Slaughter makes his way to the ring. Now Slaughter has an American flag drop down and they throw a fit. Fans chant USA and Slaughter tells them to put their hands over their hearts and repeat after him, and Slaughter says that's an order. Slaughter begins the Pledge of Allegiance, but Rusev and Lana won't. Lana starts to, but Rusev eventually takes the mic and they leave. Rusev comes back over and talks trash to Slaughter, and then Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger make the save, and then Jack Swagger clears the ring with Rusev on the other side. So if WWE is planning for another Jack Swagger Rusev feud, I don't think this should happen, but let's see who is the #1 contender for the United States Championship. We had Fandango versus Justin Gabriel, which is all new Fandango. I really like the new way of Fandango, and I think it will be a good way to make him, hype him as a big heel in the WWE. So he is doing well in his card, but I think he should get other opponents than Justin Gabriel, because he has more potential, obviously, than Justin has, so he might be put into a feud with someone else which is more bigger, more stronger, and more popular and better than Justin Gabriel. Now we had a Big Show segment in the ring, and he's out to explain why he knocked out John Cena at Survivor Series. And Big Show says he's a person who made a mistake and has made them all the time. Show says he does despise the Authority and talks about what they made him do last year. Show tries to explain himself but isn't sincere. He says if he would have known how the match turned out, he would go back and never did what he did. Show says he puts the body on the line for years and fans owe him one. He wants to start over and the fans chant "You sold out" instead. Show starts yelling at fans for passing, and this leads to Eric Rowan making his way out. Show mocks Rowan and taunts him, saying that you are not capable of anything, why did you come out? You look like an upside down Sheamus. And that was a joke, I really laughed at it. Eric Rowan looks like an upside down Sheamus. Show says the ring is made for men and fans chant Rowan's name, Eric Rowan chants. That was beautiful. Show says he has no place out here and should go up the ramp before he gets hurt. Rowan says he doesn't like bullies and he attacks Big Show, but he gets out and we have another segment ended. So Raw wasn't going on the top-notch way it should have gone, but it was like alright, we had all the stuff going, and it was like not the best thing we have ever seen on Monday Night Raw. Brie Bella versus AJ Lee. Not a Divas Championship match, but just a match, and winner was Brie Bella. While AJ was fighting out of a submission hole, AJ runs the ropes and hits a Tez press, and then AJ charges in the corner and hits knee for the 2 count. Nikki distracts and Brie gets the pin. So winner was Brie, and then after the match, the Bella celebrated as AJ grabs the mic and she says two of them don't even come close to half the woman she is. AJ says it's time someone break it to the Bellas and talent is not sexually transmitted. So that was what AJ said. Strong words going out, and I don't know, but Michael Cole was referring that this was the AJ's last word. I don't know if he's referring to the leaving of AJ Lee from the WWE, but let's see what happens. Now what I'm going to talk about is absolutely bullshit. Adam Rose and Bunny versus Tyson Kidd and Natalya. And for those who want to know who won this match, should go and watch Raw, because I don't want to bring such shit on this Monday Night Raw review. I only talk about main things, and I think this was the creepy, crappy, and the most shitty moment of last night's show from Indianapolis. Finally, we have the main event, and I think I didn't miss anything. We had John Cena and Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins, Joe Mercury, and Jamie Noble. For obviously, we had Jamie Noble, Seth Rollins, and Joe Mercury versus Dolph Ziggler and John Cena. So we have a match going on. It goes like really well. It was the match like which no one wants to see. It was just the hype that Joe Mercury and Jamie Noble were the partners of Rollins. That was it. The match wasn't any way, although Cena and Ziggler were doing their best to get the crowd on the fire. So after the match ends, because Cena and Ziggler obviously would get the win, Cena AA's Noble, Ziggler just zigzags Mercury, and it was like ended 1, 2, 3, a double pin by both of those. So after the match, Rollins goes to leave, but Daniel Bryan comes out and throws him back in the ring. Ziggler hits a super kick, and Cena hits an AA on Rollins. Bryan's music hit, and they get a big yes chant going on. We are interrupted by the sound of the anonymous Raw General Manager. Oh my god, this was one of the worst things I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw. Anonymous Raw General Manager. After such a good Survivor Series pay-per-view, they are going back to the Anonymous Raw General Manager role. That is absolutely not the way I would have seen this going on, but no way. We have Anonymous Raw General Manager. Cole comes out, reads the message, and says the order will be restored on Cyber Monday next week. This is all he said. But if WWE goes to plan with the Anonymous General Manager, I say one thing, which a YouTuber of mine, and I watch his videos, at JD from NY206 on Twitter, said, for every one good thing which WWE does, for every one right they do, they have 1,000 wrongs as well. And I absolutely agree, because after such a good pay-per-view, such as Survivor Series, WWE should have definitely done something big on Raw, and they didn't. And if they have gone back to the Anonymous Raw General Manager once again, this thing is not going to work at all, because it doesn't even matter. After giving such a pay-per-view, you give us such bullshit content. It should not go like this. It should be obviously like someone new, like bring Sting back, make him the general manager, bring Mick Foley, make him the general manager, bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin, make him the general manager, Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long, whatever, John Laurinaitis. You have definite options, but don't do an anonymous Raw general manager, because that thing sucks. That thing absolutely sucks. And I didn't even like it when it happened for the first time ever in the WWE. That was absolutely, like, it shouldn't happen. It looks a fucking disgrace, and it should not happen. Its authority is better than that, I will tell you, because we have something to see in the ring, and not all reading out messages of the anonymous Raw General Manager. So this thing needs to be changed. Raw Lost guys were really disappointing, because the end was absolutely horrible. I would have loved to see Daniel Bryan delivering a knee to Rollins, but that eventually didn't happen. We might have had a good match going on, a beautiful match, give it more 5 minutes than wasting time for anonymous Raw General Manager. And it was really not what I expected from last night's show after such a good pay-per-view of Survivor Series. So this was your Monday Night Raw review and results from last night, November 24, 2014. Thank you so much for watching. It's longer this week, but I discussed in detail, told you about the segments as well, which usually I don't cover because it was not much on Raw last night. I really think WWE needs to still get back on the right road, and they need to continue what they finished off at Survivor Series. So I rate this show a 6 out of 10 because I really am disappointed about the ending. They didn't give it a lot of time for the main event, and also the segments in between with Kane, with Santino Marella, and all that stuff absolutely sucked. The only good part of the show was the starting segment with Bryan and the Authority. That's it. And that was the only good part. And the main event, that wasn't good because it wasn't given enough time. It didn't even look a match. Cena and Ziggler would have always won, but they still could have done a lot better if they had been given more time. And I don't know if WWE always does this, that what the crowd wants, like Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury, I wouldn't have voted them as the partners for Seth Rollins because I want something good. Like, the crowd has been asked for partners and suddenly vote for Mark Henry and Luke Harper, and then John Cena and Ziggler are shocked that crowd voted for this. That things should be happen. These things should be brought to WWE TV for a surprise as to giving us to the WWE Universe. So this was a Monday Night Raw review. I would not waste any of your time now. It's already too long, and I will try to get it as soon as possible on YouTube. Obviously, it's now on YouTube, but like this video, comment, share, favorite, and let me know what do you rate last night's Raw from Indianapolis. I hope we have something good for next week's Raw, and the order is restored. I think a new general manager is coming, so just comment down below what new general manager do you want to see next week on Raw. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you in the next one.